This is CW with Stay Awake Games with episode 6 of my Beyond Eden Let's Play with Developers Commentary. On our last episode, we were finally finishing up the massively long tutorial as we were... oh my god, that is so loud. As we were learning magic, really delayed this, and the last couple of videos have gotten struck by a copyright notice by that song, so definitely need to remove that before I do anything else with this project. So, today we train the soul. What are your names? It's been a month and he has not asked. Permission to speak, sir? Proceed. Oh god, what is that? That is really loud. Why are you being so nice to us now? My training is not just of the body, but of the mind. It is because of my being ruthless that taught you the determination you needed to understand my lessons. When we met, you had a fierce ego. My role as your teacher was to calm that ego. By appearing more fierce than you, I forced you to hide that self-importance without you even knowing it. From here on, it is up to you to demonstrate self-control without my aid. That is why my family's teachings are called the Way of the Empty Cup. If your cup is so full of your own ideas, then all outside information will flow over us. We must learn to sometimes empty the cups of our own limitations, perceptions, assumptions, agreements, and ego. Today, you will not sweat, you will not ache, you will not hurt. Today, you will understand yourself and your place in the universe. You will tap directly into the pure dream of the planet Gaia. Oh yeah, that refills the fairy ring. The song is good, but it seems really loud. The view here is most beautiful. It takes someone who has shed their close-minded selfishness to appreciate it. I keep the gate locked to keep undeserving fools from taking her beauty for granted. With the mastery of intent, you will gain access to all your potential by opening your mind to the silent knowledge of the universe. The body is made up of 7 different energy points called chakras. Each chakra represents a certain type of energy needed for the body to function properly. If the chakras change position in the body, the energy they produce will flow unevenly. Usually, we are trained to filter out what is intangible and immaterial. This can alter our chakras. They can also become blocked with toxins and produce less energy. Before we go any further, I will realign and cleanse your chakras. For this to work, you must give me your complete trust. I like how after he does his little hand movements, it kind of looks like he's kicking them. Kick! Like as the tile set resets, like it kind of flickers. Kick! He just kind of resets their chakras and then kicks them in the shins. Oh god, that song is starting up again. The chakras inside your body create an egg-like aura that surrounds your body. The aura processes all of the world's outside energy and tells the senses how to perceive them. It acts somewhat like a filter. If the chakras are flowing unevenly, the aura created will perceive things differently. On the aura, a exists a place called the assemblage point. If the assemblage point is ventally pushed inward towards the body, the shape of the aura is altered, and thus, so is perception. The next step in the training is to push your assemblage point and alter your perception into a state of heightened awareness. Here, you will become sensitive to understanding the mastery of intent. In this state of heightened awareness, you will see the world more clearly, and everything will appear extremely vivid. You open yourself up to the silent knowledge of the world. We can push our minds to vibrate on the same frequency of the planet. Essentially, this is the empty cup, a closer unity with the goddess of the planet, and thus a closer unity to everything. Since you've never seen the world before, all this new energy will be extremely overwhelming to your body. The experience, that loop is not smooth either. It's overall not a good addition to this scene at all. The experience will be very radical the first time it's attempted. Your physical body will go into a state of shock, but your mind will be immersed in the vivid world. After a few moments, your body will shut down and fall into a deep sleep. The final step in the training will truly test your intent. The final step in the training, getting yourself to wake up using only the power of your mind and force of will. Something wrong, Allison. You look as if you've seen a ghost. It's just that willing myself out of a coma sounds pretty scary. There is a slight risk. Failure to escape could result in death, so be careful of every action. Make sure you have a strong faith in yourself and your abilities before you proceed. Is everyone consciously willing to participate in the training? I'm ready. As ready as I'll ever be. I've got a bad feeling about this. I'm ready. So this chapter is called The Sage from Within. Oh, first we have a flashback scene. I'm terrified. I'm gonna feel so isolated. I know, sweetheart, but there's so much you can look forward to in England. Yeah, there's always a silver lining. It's really sad that you're leaving, but I'm sure there's lots of great stuff to find in England. My mom thinks I'm afraid that I won't know people. But how could I ever explain to her that you guys are more than just friends? Maybe we should move to England too? Are you serious, Brian? We could get away from our dead-end jobs that don't need us, pursue an adventure in a foreign land. We could take a train to Paris, Germany, Russia. Well, maybe not anymore. We're at the perfect age to move. If we don't go now, we may never. I don't think you could just take a train to Russia either. I don't know. I'm a stupid American. Plus, I was 15 when I wrote this scene. It does sound really nice, but we're going to need to secure a trade if we're going to get a visa. Oh, I'm in my 30s for reference, so this was probably written in like 2005-ish. We should all concentrate on going to school. Brian and I in New York and you in England. That, you know, life is different phases, and sometimes change is the death of a life. One life ends, another is born in its place. Just like a phoenix, we grow and become more beautiful and stronger than we were before. But even though you're being forged stronger, every death is still painful, still brings upon loss. It's always hard to accept a change and embrace it for what it has to offer. We love you, Marcus. We will miss you every day, but this is not the end. We promise. God, another country. I'm terrified. That's why we're here tonight, Marcus. We're gonna ask that everything work out. God, we ask that our fates be tied together. I accept Brian and Marcus as my brothers. Let physical and emotional limitations not interfere in our relationship. I ask that Allison and Marcus become my spiritual siblings. Help us stay close, even when we aren't. Brian and I are moving to New York. We ask that you keep us safe and Marcus while he is here alone in England. Oh man, what a fucked up dream. Where are Allison and Brian? And why am I in Allison's room? Just want to tell a side story here. When this part was originally written, so this is again the chapters, The Sage from Within. So this segment was originally 3 perspectives. There was a part for Brian, Allison, and Marcus, and they all kind of worked through their inner demons, and then they all met up together in kind of this spooky Japanese village. And I was really heavily influenced by like Fatal Frame and Resident Evil at the time, and there was this really long segment. It was like 2 or 3 hours of them working together in this village, and they were running from versions of themselves that didn't have eyes, and they were, meeting up, and they were separated, and they were throwing items back and forth over fences and pushing it through like holes in the walls, and it was just this really complicated, intricate mechanic, and it kind of eventually became its own game in a way. And so I ended up removing all of it because it was so long. Like it had its own menu with its own little item system where the characters could only carry 4 items each, and it became very complicated. And it just didn't fit the scope. It was really weird. So I just removed it all, and I started making this other game. So this one's called Beyond Eden Chronicles of Nod, but I ended up taking that framework and making a prequel game called Beyond Eden Original Heathen. And if Beyond Eden is anything, it's a testament to overthinking things and trying to create a scope much bigger than what you can handle. So again, before one game is even out, you don't just start making another game and try to build that same lore with a prequel. You have to build on stuff you've actually completed. So I think that's folly of man, and especially the ambition of a teenager thinking they can handle a lot more than they actually can. Hey girl, where you kids at? Oh, good morning, Marcus. We're at the Delamo Mall. If you want to catch a train, we'll wait for you at the food court. Okay, great. I'll just quickly change my clothes and I'll be there in a second. Alright, I'll see you soon. I had the craziest dream. It was so surreal. We'll grab some Starbucks and you can tell us all about it, babe. Alright, job. Off to the train station, I guess. There's like way too much AI on this map. Like I remember like everyone has like different things that they'll do. Like people will come and go from the bathrooms, and they'll come and buy cigarettes. There's like a lot of activity on the map. Oh dear me, which one of these buttons says Virginia Slims? So fucking hold up, asshole. Hurry up, we've all got places to be. Is that Cairo? Excuse me, you look very familiar. Do I know you? No. Fuck off. Ooh, he's a ghost. It's spooky. things are not all what they seem. I do remember if you come onto this map and you book it and you run to the left really quick. Oh wait, I think maybe I fucked it up, but maybe it was over here actually. There was a ghost girl that'll appear on the tracks if you're really quick. So obviously the floor here is really trippy too. So it's also supposed to kind of evoke that, and then this is a weird tile that kind of doesn't move. It's all just supposed to feel very, you know, unreal. It's like reality's ripped apart. I feel like I could be losing my mind. Was it all a dream? Or is this part of Pyasme's training? If I can't tell the difference between reality and a dream, how can I tell if anything's real? I need a cigarette. Don't know exactly when I wrote this part, but okay. But I can tell you it was most definitely not inspired by Silent Hill 4. And Elite Speak. What the fuck is this? Why is there a hole in the wall? Of course you should crawl through. Oh yeah. Christ, what now? To like wander around here. Oh hey. You're... You. How do I get out of here? Simple. All you have to do is want to leave. I do want to leave. You expect to wake up using only your mind? Yes. How do I do that? It's like waking up in the morning, except this time it isn't involuntary. I'm dreaming. It is the rules that you cling to that keep you here. You choose to live in the nightmare, and for that you can never leave. Oh wow, Silent Hill 4 came out in 2004, so I guess I probably started this game in 2003, which, I don't know, this program is called RPG Maker 2003, so I just assumed that it didn't come out in the West, like, immediately in 2003. I assumed it was, like, a couple years later, but maybe not. We need that world. Don't you see? I'm another side of you. I'm the judge, and you are the victim. I take their negativity and help you counter it. I make you feel guilty when someone else criticizes you. I convince you that you deserve to be unhappy. You can't be me. It's quite a perfect relationship we have. I don't believe you. Fine, the cloud loop is all janky. Doesn't change your situation at all. There must be a way out of here. You cling to these ideals, your weapons, your defense mechanisms, your ego. You still desire these things. These masks you wear make you feel powerful and in control. But you're not in control. I am. I don't need you. You drain my livelihood, make me lazy and unambitious. Fuck you, get out of my head. You're getting warmer. If only you believed what you said. I'm getting tired of this bullshit. Tell me how to get out of here. Are you unable to deal with conflict without your precious friends? Yes, where are Allison and Brian? They can't help you here. It's just us. Nowhere to go. You are weak because you are over-reliant on your friends. No. It's them that give me the courage to try. They will love me even when I fail. Cease your lies. I am not the one deluded. Begone, judge. I am not your victim. Is it really you? Marcus, it's me. I'm so glad to see you. so sorry, Marcus. For what? I don't understand. We're almost out of here, Marcus. How do we get out of here? I'm so sorry, Marcus. Please, just wake up. I don't understand. Just wake up. Please, wake up. Please wake up. Marcus, please. What? Marcus! Oh, thank God you're alright. After the first few days, I started to think dreadful thoughts. I'm so glad you're okay. How long have I been asleep? Almost a week. Really? Damn, I'm hungry. How long did it take you guys? Allison woke up after 4 days, and me? This motherfucker was up in like 6 hours and was getting drunk and celebrating with Pius while we battled inner demons. How scary was that experience? I went to this ghost town full of all kinds of knowledgeable entities, but they spoke in languages I couldn't understand. And there was this other me that had no eyes and it was following me and drinking my memories. So, yeah, obviously that was kind of an homage to the cut content. I mean, I guess I could have left it in and kind of like chopped it up and maybe still used parts of it, and maybe you could follow one perspective instead of some of the others. But ultimately, I just kind of wanted to go with Marcus because, you know, he's the young, naive one, and that is so loud. And one of the mechanics ultimately in the game is that, like all RPGs, you know, you have your MP that, you know, grants you your skills, but your maximum MP in this game is kind of determined by your spiritual experience, and Marcus is the most naive among them spiritually, so kind of felt like he needed that kind of moment where he kind of grew up a little bit and kind of became more of a hero because he's the youngest as well. It's very natural that your mind resists the new vivid world. You overcame your mind's defenses. You are now open to the silent knowledge of Gaia and the natural power of her magic. You may find that as your life goes on, you are learning things that were never taught to you. They are things that are innate that you have forgotten, but Gaia is always trying to get you to remember. Now what happens? Now you can temporarily focus your mind's eye to what is normally unseen around us. By opening your spiritual awareness, you can see things in the physical world that are not perceived by your physical senses. I don't know if I want to do that again. The danger is gone now. You may find that there are many forces around you that are trying to guide you if only you are open to them. To shift between normal and heightened awareness, simply press the Shift key while in the main menu. Oh yes, the Shift key, of course. Each time you shift, it will put a slight strain on your chakras. You will have to get your chakras realigned after you shift a few times. Thank you for everything, Pius. Yes, indeed, thank you. So that was not really a good tutorial to explain a mechanic, but I will explain that better in a moment. Don't forget that now that you can control magic, you can also use the full power of the fairy ring by pressing the 2 key. You will also have to assign the type of magic sphere you wish to study and equip a deity ring to control your progression. This tutorial is so long, and then it ends with just like a dump of exposition of a bunch of mechanics that makes no sense in retrospect. Please come to me if you ever have questions. I have so many questions. The top menu has been unlocked. So they had a spiritual experience, so all of their GP went up by 50. And now the fancy menu is unlocked, and I have a few things to explain and show in there. Do you have questions? I don't right now, but yeah, so when you level up, you don't gain GP in this game. You gain it by side quests and, you know, spiritual experiences, texts that you find. Not even texts, really. I mean, I guess there's a few scenes unlocked by, like, artifacts that you find, but yeah, it's very much like a pompous kind of way that I could explore different religions and philosophies as a kid. So all kinds of shit is, like, chopped up and sprinkled throughout here. Oh yeah, I never actually implemented this, but I did want to make an item that they increase their max GP. I was intending it to be in the late game, but yeah, I don't think I ever ended up adding it now that I think about it. Okay, so one of the things you can do is you can hit the shift key, and you can shift into heightened awareness, and it puts a terrible eye graphic on the screen, but now you can see these extra things, like this thing on the desk is a hidden item. This guy here is like the collectible in the game. He's an ally. It's an energy vampire that you can kind of collect. So these are, like, you know, demons that feed on physical pain. This is what starts to collect and accumulate that energy, and it will eventually become a form. It'll eventually take shape and become a certain type of demon. So these are kind of pre-demons, and you can find them when you're shifted. In this state, they're harmless, but you can kind of collect them, and yeah, it just has a thing, I think. Did I disable it? Yeah, because it's under extras is what it is. But I think I was reworking this menu at one point, and it got disabled, and you can't access it right now. So if I ever resume the project, I would have to fix that. So yeah, these little clusters are energy, and these are what eventually becomes allies. So depending on the type of energy. So yeah, different colors. You can kind of, it just kind of adds like flavor text for some of the zones, you know, so that like there's like certain graves that might have a colored energy on top of them, so you can know that that person like died with pure love in their heart, or had a lot of like happy experiences and was very fulfilled. So I used it in a few areas that you know, the whole shifting thing ultimately was kind of underutilized, but it was kind of my way of giving hints to mini games and just making it so that there's extra things to collect and whatnot. And yeah, you can only shift so many times before you need to seek out an expert that can realign your chakras, so that you can't do it too much. You have to be selective about when you use it. I can't believe we were there for an entire month. It was pretty intense, but I definitely feel more powerful. We're more capable now. I'm very relieved that it's over. Is it bad that I want a cigarette? Yes, you should be over that by now. It's been 4 weeks. No, Allison is right. Life isn't worth living without a guilty pleasure. Can we head back to Sabbath and buy a pack? Fine, whatever. Let's just make sure that we stop by Tempest's new shop and pay him a visit. Okay, another thing that we have to do is we have to actually set our sphere. So you can choose kind of what class you want to be. So Brian is the magic user, so I'll make him a green mage. It's Kagami. I guess I'll make... I don't remember how... I know that Kagami is the most robust and fully implemented class. I don't remember how much warrior got added, so I might end up taking that off. But with your approach, that's a way that you can kind of change the way the class, you can kind of specialize it a little bit. So being that Marcus is the warrior, he already has... I'm gonna make him have extra strength because he's already got pretty good speed. And then for her, you don't have any magic in the beginning. So I'm actually, let's see. Just gonna do the ones that kind of increase strength for now, because you don't have a lot of magic. Okay, so this is where the deity rings come in. So, they have, so that one can only be used by Marcus. So there's all these different deity rings that are different gods, you know, pagan and Norse and, you know, even Christian and Hindu, all kinds of different gods are referenced here. But they all have different stats associated with them on the right hand side, so that kind of increases every time you level up. The deity rings are going to determine the stats that increase, so it's important that you have them, otherwise the level up only increases your health. So for such an important mechanic, it was not very well explained by Pius May. And then there's this other thing here, hope. So at the bottom you can see is hope. You have 10 of it, and for every 10 hope that you have, you can just dump it in a skill to increase it by 1. And that's like a permanent stat increase that you can use whenever. And then hope is something that you gain with every level. So I guess even without a deity ring, you can still increase that a little bit with the hope. And then faith is the one mechanic that you can use to increase your GP when you level up, or your MP. And I don't know if it's actually implemented. I think actually some deity rings reference faith. I think that's the only way to actually increase your GP without those little side quests and story events, is to find a deity ring that increases it. So we will see. I don't quite remember. So the characters want to return to Sabbath. They're going to check in with Tempest. Now that they know magic, Renia had her idea for finding Brad, but in order for that to work, the characters had to know magic. So that, oh, there's a hidden thing here. Nice, big tree. Alright, I'm going to check out the big tree later, because I was just about to wrap up the episode, but so yes, Renia is going to use a ritual to locate Brad now that the players know magic. So that is a kind of clunky exposition way. I was really quickly kind of trying to justify this, because originally the intro was even longer. The characters didn't learn magic until even later. They cross through this mountain pass, there's another dungeon, some more events happen, and then they finally go to Pius May, unlock the menu and the class system, and it just took far too long. So I did make that change kind of at the last minute, so that you just didn't go, you know, we look at this like we've been playing at this point for 3 hours, and we only just now unlocked the menu and the skill system. So yeah, ultimately I did make that change actually fairly late in development, shifted a lot of stuff around just to help with the flow. So a lot of things kind of feel forced and clunky right now. So I really appreciate you guys watching. If you're interested, thanks.